Welcome to the Ping Styles channel. Snuck from one of the table. Wow. So he didn't get snuck in. From one day, August 24, 2012. A 10-year-old little fatty participated in the first international competition of his life. European Mini Championships. Oh, Seoul. He was here in that competition. He only finished 17th. People at that time might not have expected this little fatty shaking his butt. With a bit of soul and a nonchalant temperament, was the future god. Perhaps if they didn't just focus on the ranking, but watch the matches, they would have discovered his uniqueness. Because he was playing up an age group, his body was still a child's, but those eyes that saw through opponents, and that I do what I want body language were like an old fox who had played for half a lifetime. He actually only lost one match, the one in the round of 32 to 16. In the subsequent ranking matches, he didn't lose a single match compared to the runner-up. He just lost a bit earlier. A year later, the god who played up an age group returned to his own age group. He dominated everywhere. He ruled the whole court. He won the championship for 2 consecutive years, becoming the Mini Championships' first teenager in history to achieve this feat. All of Europe was excited. A new king was rising. He is the king in the north, the god of abstract, the racket throwing artist, the guerrilla captain, the world vice champion, owner of Cybershape, successor of Waldner, the Mo, cult leader trolls, Murigord. Thank you to my family members for the support. Gao Cao Cao Ren, Guang, Freaky, Pib, Ibe Juchu, Nautilus, Parrot, Cordia, Right, Never, De009, Yuen Wen, Dedeyu, Linlan Kuyuan, Xiaochu Chengda, Backhand, Laxia Xuan, Haonan, Tian Tian Yao Zhao Qi, Career God, Ruyi, Tong Seng Pao Mo. Thank you, everyone. And thank you for your patient waiting. Xiao Mo, Little Mo, has left countless abstract clips on the internet, practically a Chinese verb. Level 8 exam. Flicks, footwork, water talk cuts are just basic operations. The Mo Wolf Wao Shan is also a standard weapon. There are other operations. I am at a loss for words for ill let you literary giants name them. As well, how you want us me. Doubles versus singles tomorrow. Keep it up. Wow, he got that ball back. Next, I will analyze 16 of Xiaomo's matches in depth, 217 points, divided into 6 keywords, to analyze Xiaomo's playstyle for you, to see behind these abstract operations what kind of clear main theme is hidden. Okay, then let's start with a factor that everyone can see with their own eyes, which is that weirdly shaped Cybershape in his hand. Murigord, getting the name God of Abstract, is probably only half because of his technique. The other half is thanks to that abstract racket. This is a heptagonal, or rather an octagonal blade, with a carbon black coating full of mystery. Since the Japanese penhold grip exited the mainstream scene, people haven't seen a racket shape other than oval in a long time. Yes, there are some other players using the Cybershape, but none of them are like Xiaomo and the Cybershape, so perfectly in tune. Glue inseparable from dream, dream inseparable from glue. Before switching to the Cybershape, Xiaomo style was like this. Does it feel both familiar and unfamiliar? Unfamiliar because he's not like the current Xiaomo familiar, because TS, like many people, this two-wing looping style isn't wrong, but in the competitive world of table tennis, it's like Louis Ku's looks perfectly average. But the seeds of abstract were already planted. An occasional punch block and that sneaky hand switch all show he had practiced these techniques long ago. He just hadn't realized these flashy moves weren't just for decoration. They could grow into the most dazzling, bizarre flower in the forest. October 2021, the cult leader finally met his destined divine weapon. 1 month later, Houston World Championships, round of 16, the first 3 games, he still used his conventional old style, although there were a few bright moves, but Lim Jong-hoon on the other side had all the momentum, winning 3 straight games to stand. Occasionally, have you eaten yet? The cult leader was clearly very dissatisfied, at one point angrily throwing his racket on the edge of a cliff. In the 4th game, at the crucial 7-6 point, he did a side chop, and unexpectedly, it had a marvelous effect. Lim was a bit stunned. The opponent, has he given up, or is he playing with my mind? He didn't know the abstract bloodline was awakening at this moment. The bizarre genes began to take over. The current Xiaomo was no longer the Xiaomo he had beaten. Like a magic trick, he threw out a series of dazzling operations, making Lim Jong-hoon dizzy. There's another one. After being humiliatingly after that, Lim Jong-hoon's mentality collapsed. His mind went blank. Is the opponent human? Must be a ghost. Commenting me like a different player showed up. Later, Lim Jong-hoon shouted loudly, trying to motivate himself to pull himself together. Do that. But the transformed Xiaomo didn't give him the chance. He completely controlled the situation, calm and composed, at ease, occasionally pulling some small tricks to liven up the atmosphere. He spent one, then he smashed. Here you go, course. That try, in the end, he miraculously came back from 0-3 to win 4-3, a historic comeback, and take. And Xiaomo's magic didn't end. He continued to stumble along. Won 4-2 against Aruna. Move on, reminding A here. And this Kane still here in 4-3 win against Bull, forcing his way into the final. Winning the silver medal. The title world vice champion was thus born. From then on, the world lost a 2-winged looping teenager, but gained a god of abstract. Is the Cybershape more suited for abstract play than regular rackets? From my personal experience, yes, its sweet spot is huge. Sometimes when my form is off, it'd hit the net with other rackets, but with this, it can go on the table crookedly. Its second bounce is bizarre. Paired with Xiaomo's same DNA rubber, opponents found it very hard to adapt. They came over to ask me if I was playing with pimples. Its short game is unstable. Controlling length and height isn't easy. Sometimes I didn't even intend to play abstract, but it came out looking abstract. But these aren't the main points. The main point is, its forehand, it's truly captivating. The center of gravity is forward, but it's very light. When you swing the forehand, the sound is crisp, the feeling is clear. It's just so explosive. The key is, it's also very easy to get on the table. Balls that are impossible to counterloop with other rackets. With this, just swing casually. Hey, it actually went on. The mental boost is even more metaphysical. Once you pick up this racket, it's like summoning the cult leader god. Your whole body feels an inexplicable confidence. My back doesn't hurt. My shoulders aren't sore. My movements are relaxed. My brain is supercharged. Can't say if it'll win, but it'll definitely have fun playing. This is Thor's little hammer, the Cybershape. He and Xiaomo found each other, complemented each other. It amplified Xiaomo's forehand threat, while Xiaomo's endless abstract operations covered up its flaws in short game control. Beneath the abstract exterior, it hides a retro soul, just like a vivid prophecy of Xiaomo's playstyle. How can it be? Question. What is Xiaomo's core technique? A. Serve. B. Punch block. C. Side. Chop. D. Attacking half-long balls. What Xiaomo is truly amazing at, what he trusts most and uses most frequently, is actually a classic technique. Attacking the half-long ball. Why not the punch block? Because the punch block is a passive skill. Only when the opponent attacks first can he trigger the punch block. Therefore, it can't be a core technique. Half-long refers to those balls that are not long, not short, look like they might go long, but might also stay short. Just like this. Xiaomo's attack on the half-long ball, what's so good about it? To explain this, we'll break down the half-long attack technique into 5 stages. Judgment, footwork, hand technique, recovery, follow-up. The biggest difficulty in attacking half-long balls is judgment. If you judge wrong, mistaking a short ball for a long one, you'll swing and miss, or even hit your hand. And if you mistake a long ball for a short one, by the time you react, you can only loop it high, which is easy to counterattack, and doesn't have much quality. Xiaomo's judgment of half-long balls is arguably one of the best in the world. Not only is it very accurate, but also very early. A typical sign is he rarely loops high. Even for very short balls, he can mostly loop them with forward momentum, which means he has already judged it before it lands. Only then can he catch the ball in its early descending phase to hit it. Don't think this is easy, because the ball spin is variable. Different spins have different flight paths and bounce rhythms. To make such an accurate judgment in such a short time, this is a ball sense more advanced than just feel. It's a kind of talent. Xiaomo's footwork is very unique. He is exceptional in the middle, and when stepping around, his startup to the left is early and fast, and his stride is very bold. A step around distance that takes normal people 3 steps, he can often get there in 2. This way, he can always create enough space to swing. He's not afraid of balls to his body, and is rarely jammed by balls to his elbow. When the incoming ball is slower, an opportunity ball, he has an extreme hang time operation. Everyone, watch closely. In this step of using his right leg to find the ball, he first jumps up, his toes seemingly touching or not touching the ground, relying on core contraction to maintain a state of hang time, but can stop at any time. He glides in the air, matching the ball's rhythm and placement at the best timing and best position. He releases his core, plants his foot, pulls back his racket, and delivers a fatal blow. This brief 0-point-something seconds is both fluid and full of subtle control. Let's make a comparison. The Fang Bow, super wide step around that fans love to talk about, his footwork is like this. Similar position, similar ball. Xiaomo's is like this. Hey. Swish sound. Of course, they are both amazing. When appreciating Fang Bow, we admire his decisiveness, his forceful control, muscle memory formed after countless practice shots. appreciating Xiaomo. We admire that special coordination and overflowing talent. Compared to his middle and step-around positions, Xiaomo's movement to his forehand side is just average. His success rate on wide forehand balls isn't high. And after lunging for it, it's hard to get back to the middle. For short balls to the forehand corner, many players can use a flicker attack or loop it from under the table. But Xiaomo isn't outstanding in these two techniques, because they both rely on stepping in early with the right leg. But Xiaomo's right leg is always slow to come in. He is used to pulling back to prepare for his step around. For balls he can reach with his forehand, he just loops it directly. If he can't reach it, he can only play abstract to transition. Wow, that shot. In terms of hand technique, Xiaomo is very flexible. He can loop to both straight and cross-court lines from any position. This benefits from the Cybershape sloped shoulders, grip, which allows his grip to be very relaxed. Of course, this comes at a price. In the episode about Harimoto Tomokazu, we already mentioned a grip that's too loose. The advantage is flexibility. The disadvantage is an unstable racket angle, and the forehand consistency will drop. Combining footwork and grip factors, it leads to Xiaomo's forehand rally being far less excellent than his half-long attack. Actually, Xiaomo's forehand swing is quite large, with a lot of upper arm involvement. This plants a hidden danger for shoulder injuries. Haha. But the exaggerated motion doesn't affect his recovery and follow-up. This is amazing. His shots are always full of confidence. His body is very relaxed. After hitting, he rarely breaks, but lets his body follow through naturally to slow down and return to the middle. Besides the one-shot power loop, he likes to play a classic slow then fast combo, which is very practical. Let's talk about the punch block, aka zombie defense. It's actually a very old technique. The recently retired vice chairman Ma Lin really liked to mix things up in backhand-to-backhand rallies. Mix what in? It's the punch block in a continuous topspin rally. Looks right but isn't punch block, changes the rhythm and spin. The opponent easily fails to adapt and makes a mistake. Going back further, the previous national team captain, current CTTA president, Wang Liqin, had a signature shaking push down the line. Its essence is also a punch block. Going back even further, we can trace it to Xiaomo's idol, the old-school legend Waldner. His backhand punch block was even more effortless and free-flowing. Compared to these predecessors, Xiaomo's punch block has less elegance and more ferocity. His feeling on the punch block is like he wants to kill the opponent with one shot. This ferocity is more like the former two J-Pen masters, Chang Penglong and Ryu Sungmin. Both had a power push, which is basically the pen-hold version of the punch block. Viewers of this channel should be familiar with Xiaomo's punch block. We introduced it in our awesome Shots Magnified series. To summarize briefly, it's hitting the rising phase, more impact, less friction. The resulting ball has no spin, no arc, lands deep, and is heavy. It's hard for the opponent to handle and easy for oneself to miss. It's high risk, high reward. In Xiaomo's tactical system, the punch block is used to deal with close-to-table backhand topspin balls. Facing the same situation, what is the more popular technique now? The block, counter drive, tear, three-piece set. Xiaomo can actually do all three, he just doesn't use them as much as the punch block. In terms of effectiveness, the punch block's power is of course good, but it mainly works against unfamiliarity. Once you're familiar with it, its consistency is not as good as the three-piece set. And this is also why the three-piece set is popular now, and not the punch block. So why does Xiaomo prefer an antique technique like the punch block? The answer to this question is a bit hardcore. I'll try to explain it concisely. Think about it. The punch block masters we mentioned earlier, Ma Long, Wang Liqin, Old Waldner, what do they have in common? Right, they are all forehand dominant players. Is this a coincidence? No. It's determined by their power generation framework. There is one muscle, well, two actually. Whether it's a forehand shot or a backhand shot, It's very important. That is the deltoid muscle. It's located on our shoulder. When looping with the forehand, what does this muscle need to do? It's best if it does nothing, stays relaxed. This way the upper arm can stay close to the body to use the core's power. If it tenses up, the arm will flare out. Whether it looks good is secondary. Secondly, the key is too much bicep involvement will cause the power to disconnect and you can't generate quality. But backhand shots, especially the flick and fast counterspin, are the opposite. Their power comes from the back and requires the deltoid to tense up to support the elbow. This way the power can be transmitted from the back along the outside of the upper arm, outside of the forearm, back of the hand, all the way to the ball. And racket tensing the deltoid is definitely uncomfortable for forehand dominant players, or even harmful. Especially continuous backhand power shots will cause the deltoid to uncontrollably stay tense. Then their most valued forehand will be hard to play. On the other hand, forehand dominant players are used to having their right foot back, elbow pointing down. This also limits the power of their flick and counterspin. The cost outweighs the benefit. This structural conflict makes it hard for players to use the most advanced techniques on both forehand and backhand. Even if they can, it's hard to integrate them perfectly. A trade-off is necessary. The punch block is the result of this trade-off. It mainly relies on arm power, doesn't need to lift the elbow, so the deltoid can stay relaxed. At the same time, it can maintain the right foot back stance. Whether transitioning from forehand to punch block, or punching once and then switching back to forehand, it's very smooth. In short, the punch block isn't an advanced technique, but it is a technique compatible with a forehand system. Although Xiaomo's punch block is very strong, generally, he doesn't use it as his first choice, but as his second choice. Watch every ball in the program. You could say, every ball, whether long or short, topspin or backspin, active or passive, his first reaction is always forehand. He's always the first to sink his shoulder, drop his upper arm, twist his hips, and set his racket vertically. These are all signs of preparing for a forehand attack. Only when he judges he can't attack with his forehand will he switch to other options. As a comparison, look at Wang Chuchen on the other side. Although we can't see his hips, we can see when he recovers, his shoulders are high, his elbow is up, and he has a clear reverse racket press. These are all backhand preparation movements. When he judges, he needs to use his forehand. He then turns left, sinks his shoulder, shows his racket, and switches to a forehand shot. Not just Wang Chuchen, even the recognized forehand cannons Fang Bo and Zhou Qihao are also like this. Shoulders up, elbow up, racket pressed, prioritizing backhand preparation. This shows their method is the mainstream option. It's what the coaches require. There's a reason for this. The backhand side has less space. If you prepare slowly, the ball will jam your body, making it impossible to hit. In contrast, the forehand side has a lot of space. Even if you miss the first contact point, you can move your body back and still hit. The second or even third point, when it's unclear which side the opponent will attack, it's reasonable to favor the backhand in recovery. No problem. But from another perspective, it's precisely because of Xiaomo's extreme forehand biased recovery that his forehand power loop is more relaxed than anyone else's. Of course, it also means he doesn't have time to make a full backhand motion. Others can quick counter or quick block. He's the one who likes to punch block. What can you say? There are pros and cons. This year, Wang Chuchen, also with a forehand system, changed his previously common backhand tiptoe quick counter to a borrow force quick punch. Therefore, he avenged his loss to Hugo and won the world championship. This was a very correct choice. He seemingly gave up a more advanced technique, but in reality, his whole system became more harmonious. It's that phrase again, techniques aren't right or wrong. What's suitable is what's best. If this is your first time watching Xiaomo serve, you might think, does this guy even know how to play? He can't even hold the racket right. Xiaomo's serves. Biggest feature is that his index and middle fingers are both on the back of the racket. Like he's cradling the racket in his hand. This way, the contact point is very close to his hand. It's quite difficult to serve with heavy spin. But the advantage of this is it's easier to control direction and power. Just like using chopsticks, the shorter you hold them, the better the control. So Xiaomo's serves are very precise. Long is long, short is short, very clear. We often see some players try to serve short, but it goes long. Or try to serve long, but it's not long enough, and the opponent smashes it. This rarely happens to Xiaomo. Serve errors are even rarer. More than half of his serves go to the forehand and backhand, two small corners, side spin or side backspin. His spin is very deceptive, hard to judge, and the ball's trajectory is very low and short. Flicking it is hard to get quality, pushing it is easy to pop up. At the same time, Xiaomo loves to serve long sneak attacks, especially long to the backhand. If you're not prepared and just block it back, his step-around power loop will make you regret it. He can use almost the exact same grip to serve regular pendulum, reverse pendulum, and no spin, 3 variations. This increases the unpredictability of his serves, and each of his serves can be delivered from the left, middle, and right positions. Combined with placement changes, his variations are very diverse. In short, Xiaomo serves aren't hard to receive, but they are hard to receive well. His direct service ace rate is not high, but his first 3-ball attack rate is very high. This means his serve doesn't aim for an ace, but to create an opportunity for the 3rd-ball attack. In service receive, Xiaomo mainly uses pushes and short touches. Those varied operations are truly a Hall of Fame. An abstract meeting. Paris Olympics, against Wang Chuqin, the first 6 points, his receive technique was different every time. His in-table control is actually not good. Receiving long, popping it high, or making a direct error are all common occurrences. But his techniques are bizarre and always changing. Even if he gives an opportunity, the opponent is prone to making a mistake. Only if you play it safe and just transition, then he will counterattack with his forehand. This puts a lot of pressure on the opponent's 3rd ball, increasing the probability of an error. For long balls, he likes to flick it hard. For in-table balls, he'll also occasionally hit a flip flick. Today's table tennis world is dominated by the banana flick. Xiaomo's push and touch game seems like a breath of fresh air, but this isn't to say the flick is bad. Everyone has seen Xiaomo used to flick often. He still flicks occasionally now. It's just that his play style and his equipment are not very flick-friendly. Plus, he's not good at topspin rallies. If it's not an opportunity ball, flicking it doesn't have that much utility. So, the push and touch is something Xiaomo does out of necessity, or rather, it's a natural selection after countless matches. He no longer obsesses over controlling every ball, but changes the game, creates surprises, makes the opponent panic on the 3rd ball to create a chance for his own 4th ball. Despite this, the bizarre operations can't hide his weakness in the receive game. Among the 4 and F4, his receive attack scoring rate, which is receive plus 4th ball scoring rate, is only better than Hugo's, and this was the situation before the Olympics. After the Olympics, Hugo's receive game improved by leaps and bounds, plus, as everyone knows, the 4 and F4 has at least 5 people, so his ranking might have to change. The old Waldner once had deceptive movements, varied placements, and unconventional tactics. He was known as the guerrilla captain. In 2016, 1-year-old Waldner announced his retirement. In the same year, 4-year-old Xiaomo represented the Swedish club Eslöv, debuting in the Champions League, becoming the youngest player in Champions League history. From then on, the guerrilla captain title had a successor in the world of table tennis. Some people play fast, some people play slow. Xiaomo, he plays chaos. He doesn't have Harimoto's shadow-like backhand quick counter. Nor does he have Hugo's relentless 2-winged power loops. Backhand quality is indeed very high. Forehand enters a rally, back to the backhand side. Wow. His dictionary only has one word: attack. He just wants to follow the ball. He will never just passively place it short. He's always looking for a chance to surprise you and then smash one past you. Oh, oh, oh. The more crucial the point, the more he dares to make a move. Serving a serve he's never served before. Pulling off an operation he's never tried before. Other people's gambles are attack, attack, attack. His gambles are change, change, change. For normal people, when you change things up, you often lack confidence yourself and tend to subconsciously watch if the ball went on the table. Your reaction slows down, but Xiaomo doesn't need to at all. He's as natural as ever, as fast as ever. Maybe it's natural talent, or maybe for him, unconventional times is times conventional. You, all. At a crucial moment, he throws out a technique you've never seen before. Who can guarantee they won't make a mistake? Xiaomo's tactics can be summarized with two cores. His core threat is his forehand. His core strategy is change. Change creates surprise. Surprise brings opportunity. The forehand seizes the opportunity. The forehand power loop is his first choice. High volume, high value, one-shot finisher, and the punch block is his backup plan. Offensively, it can score. Defensively, it can defend. His other abstract operations are his guerrilla squad, surprise, hit and run. His most common tactic is serve pendulum spin to the forehand short, receive short forehand power loop, works like a charm. Against left-handers, He'll use the mirror image of this tactic, serve reverse pendulum to the forehand short, receive short forehand power loop on ad didn't work out for. And other variations of this tactic, serve long to the backhand, receive forehand power loop. Receive short to the backhand, forehand power loop behind the who's alone looking he's given us a lot of facial expressions. This is blush. Serve long to the backhand, receive, punch block, receive, forehand power loop. Playing this service receive, do something abstract, follow with forehand power loop. In a rally, do something abstract, follow with forehand power loop. From this montage, are you getting dizzy from all the loops? Yes. This is precisely the key point we need to focus on. Abstract operations in the forehand power loop are the two sides of his coin. Without those abstract operations, Xiaomo's forehand wouldn't have such comfortable space to loop. Without a stable way to score the forehand, his abstract moves would just be juggling, unable to finish the point. As spectators, we of course love to watch his fancy abstract plays and even want to try them ourselves. But from an opponent's perspective, if you focus on those abstract operations, your attention will be very scattered with no idea where to start. At this point, you must change your perspective. Understand that the forehand is his tactical foundation. Stare at this point and attack it, and you can cut through the fog and strike right at the heart. After the previous analysis, we can summarize Xiaomo's advantage zones. It's roughly like this. See that? Although Xiaomo's forehand is excellent, the wide forehand area is not his advantage zone. His good forehand specifically refers to attacking half-long balls. It does not include forehand rallies or lunging for wide balls. To ensure his hit rate on half-long balls, he always habitually prepares to step around. So his advantage zone is in the middle, leaning towards the backhand side. Plus his punch block, the backhand side can also be considered his advantage zone. But the wide forehand angle is very hard for him to cover. Especially when the ball speed is fast, his footwork can't get there in time. Therefore, forehand defense is the first loophole in his tactical system. The second loophole is attacking short balls on his service turn. As long as he can't attack on the third ball, his scoring rate will plummet. So, playing against Xiaomo, there are three keywords: control short, attack forehand, war of attrition. On our service turn, we must control the length and trajectory. The placement, a low, shallow, weak spin ball, is quite effective, although he might flick one occasionally. Most of the time, he can only push, leaving the attacking opportunity to us on our receive turn. If we can flick directly to his wide forehand, that's the best. It's basically a winner every time. Of course, his soft, feathery short serves won't give us too many of these chances. So, the short push is very important. You must be patient. Short to forehand, short to backhand, both are fine. As long as you keep it short, prevent him from attacking, we have a 70% chance of scoring. In this year's European Top 16 final, why did LeBrun desperately push short? He often couldn't keep it short, so why did he keep doing it? Because failing to keep it short is a technical problem. You miss it this time. Practice a few more times, you might get it. But times not times, pushing short means the tactic is wrong. When we get an opportunity, we must attack his forehand more. Serve to the backhand short, make him move left, then attack his wide forehand for the best effect. If that doesn't work, just get into a rally. His topspin to topspin forehand isn't as strong as his loop against backspin. He likes to lift the ball up. Its power is limited. It's hard to finish the point in one shot. After a few shots, his footwork won't be able to keep up. Later in the game, he will also seek some changes. The most typical way is to expand the scope of his abstract plays using side chops and wipes and rallies. At this time, we must not panic, and definitely don't have a mental breakdown like Lim Jong-hoon. You need to know that while he's doing abstract operations, his own error rate will also increase dramatically. This can help us hang on to the score. After all, doing abstract on a receive, you can still prepare for it. Doing abstract in a rally requires both inspiration and feel. We need to stay patient, stay focused. If you're not sure, just get the ball on the table, drag the match out, wait until his new round of abstract is over and his operations start to repeat. That will be our chance to counterattack. In fact, this is the tactic most top players use against Xiao Mo. Control short is primary, flick is secondary, main attack to the forehand, and play a war of attrition. Of course, tactics are always like this. Easier said than done. The short push, can you keep it short? Can you keep it short? The flick, can you control the placement? The abstract shots, can you get them on the table? The forehand rally, can you be more consistent than him? If you can't do these, then the World No 5 title is not just for show. Oh, I am part a classic Heir. There are many excellent players, but only one can be called the cult leader, Xiao Mo. After studying Xiao Mo for over a month, I also became a follower of the Mo cult, learning to play some abstract shots. It's truly another world. Winning is, of course, happy, but playing times with the ball is even more wonderful. The end of winning is losing, but playing times has no end. What you play is what you get. Perhaps this is what we're looking for. In today's involution world, a spiritual anchor, I am Ji. See you in the next video.